It's good.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the episode of the Popcorn People podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We've seen a bunch of different movies throughout the week, TV shows, movies. We're going to talk a little bit about each and every one of them, see if it's worth checking out or not. As always, I'm joined by my podcast partner, Dom. How are you, buddy?
What's popping, Colonels? Man, you know, we're in the thick of it now, man. We're getting links sent to us for various movies. Some we've already seen, so it's kind of good to be able to skim through and find some refreshers and whatnot. But yeah, like we said before, if you wanna, if you're trying to talk or have a conversation or go see a movie, you better do it in the next week because it's about to get real serious.
Yeah, like don't even like look at my general direction. You know what I mean? Like I went on vacation last week, and in that vacation, like I came back last night. We were just watching. Actually, I was watching season 2 of Nobody Wants This, and as I'm sitting there watching, I'm going through emails and stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh my god! Like I was looking at my schedule this week. I'm like, I got something literally every day this week, and then I just thought to myself, I was like, this is like it's preparing to be that time. It's that time, and so many new movies, so many different movies, and it's crazy because it's like, throughout the year, we'll get a screener here, screening there, but like right now, it's like the thick of it. So it's like, with us being part of Critics' Choice, our deadline is a lot tighter than everybody else's. Like Critics' Choice is going to be the first movie award show, the film award show of the season. You know what I mean? The show is going to what is it? This January the 4th, it's going to be his Critics' Choice Award. So because of that, our timeline's expedited. I believe our deadline's at like first couple days of December. So, because of that, we're, as you look at it, I mean, like what we are at October. I mean, what are we at? October 12th. Yep. So, we're looking at a full month and a half and a couple days. So not even 2 full months before we have to submit our ballot for the Critics' Choice. So, it's crunching time in movies, and
it's about to be a movie a day, maybe 2 movies a day type of thing.
Yeah,
and don't let you miss a couple days. You're gonna have to cram a bunch in on a Saturday.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Like that's what we look forward to, working our jobs too. Is that Thanksgiving week? That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that's the crunch time.
Yep.
I literally use that typically to like go and maybe rewatch a few things just to get the pecking order right. And but just thinking about it's kind of it's giving me anxiety already. You know what I mean? But it's like a mixed bag right now, right? You know what I mean? Because the good thing about it is you're gonna watch a lot of movies. The bad thing about it is there's a lot of mediocre movies within that. Yeah. So think about us during this trying time, I guess. But that being said, Dom, let's talk about a House of Dynamite, right? One of Netflix's biggest players for the award season. And like I said, we're going to do this free flowing. We're going to just go back and forth, talk about the movies we've seen, because we've seen some things that we haven't seen, the other one hasn't seen. So we're just going to talk back and forth about it. Give me some thoughts about House of Dynamite and kind of what you maybe saw with the film, because I got some strong feelings about it. So what you got?
I think my first thought about this film is Netflix dropped the ball by not making this a just regular theater release. I know they're doing the limited like they do a lot of movies, but this one I think deserves to be a theater watch because of the tension, because of the important moments and the way that they do this converging story and the score and even the silences. Watching this at home is going to be fine, but I don't think you'll get that same level of anxiety because this is probably one of the most terrifying movies to think about as you're watching it. It's not because, I love horror movies, right? But, like, you're not going to see monsters pop up and all these things. But this movie, what takes place, it's a it's a scary, very real possibility, especially the way the world is right now. And the whole movie, I'm thinking as you're watching, you're like, what would I do? Like, what would happen? How can we? I don't, and it's like as citizens, there's only so much we can control. All the control is in the hands of all these different old dudes who don't give a shit about nobody. So the whole time, just like, yo, like, and then and this sucks too because I feel like this is a movie that there's only so much we can both say without giving pieces away. But I will say it's a heart pounding movie. I don't think that it will get the initial love it deserves when it hits home Netflix. But yeah, heart pounding. It's terrifying. And I know some people won't like it. I enjoyed the way the story was told. I love a converging story, how you get to see how pieces come together from different perspectives. And but when you do watch this, put your phone down. It's what right at 2 hours, right under 2 hours, something like that. Put your phone down, turn the lights off, pay attention because it is important. You know, this is one of those movies that it does affect your personal life and going, I need to pay attention how I vote. I need to pay attention how the world moves because when you need to respond or react to something serious, how are you going to do that? You know what I mean? I was elated after the movie. I was like, this is, I didn't know what to expect. But, and even the title, once you understand like what it is saying, what it means, oh, dude, it's good. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Even when I was writing my review for it, I was like, how do I talk about this movie without spoiling it, without trying to really dig deep into the details of little things, right? Because to me, Catherine Bigelow, one of my favorite directors, right? You know what I mean? Zero Dark 30, The Hurt Locker, just her just ability to capture, I think, the political and even military space in a way that, you know, kind of I think it's almost like treats the audiences like dummies in a way. You know what I mean? It's like a how-to dummy guide because I think that she does the same thing with the House of Dynamite, right? She treats audiences of like, hey, this is what this means. This is what this is. This is, and it doesn't make you feel stupid sitting there. Like, I don't know what the hell that is. But, you know, her attention to detail is like brilliant because if you think about the idea of the film, right, it's the power of one man's ability to literally make an entire country disappear with the code and the press of a button, right? You know what I mean? That's mortifying. And it's based off of potential information, right? You know what I mean? Like information that may or may not be true. You know what I mean? And in the world of misinformation that we're in right now, it's mortifying to think about. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like every single person walked into their job that day thinking it was going to be like every other day. A lot of them know their importance of their job, but they don't expect to open the oh shit manual. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what it is. Like that's exactly what I feel like. You know what I mean? Oh shit. You know what I mean? Like to know that there's a guy that follows the president around with a fucking suitcase. For some reason, like when you're watching the movie at the beginning, like I'm so naive and see too many movies. I was like, oh, that guy's the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he's walking around the
Same.
suitcase, you're like, wait a minute, why are we paying so close attention to this guy?
Yep.
And he hasn't really said anything. He's just in the background. I don't understand what's going on. And then finally you see why he is where he is. And it's like, oh shit, I'm an idiot. Maybe I've watched too many damn movies.
Yeah,
you know what
I
mean?
thought the same thing.
I was like, this guy's 1000% in charge of what happened. He's got some sort of like they're gonna arrest him. Something's gonna happen with this guy, and I'm just like, no, you've seen too many movies. You know what I mean? and I really feel like I agree with you. Like the different perspectives. I've seen a lot of people can kind of complain about it, but I loved the different sequences because all three show that there's different ways to look at one perspective and how they lay it out again without going too deep in spoilers is like it's amazing because you're seeing so many different unique perspectives of how they do it. One of the cool things about this movie I think is is it really has little subtle moments of humanity and not humanity, of how people
Yeah.
would react in these moments. There's one scene in particular where I don't remember the character's name, but he goes out there and he's the vendor. He's just the vendor of the food that he feeds everybody inside this inside the where all the where
The
Rebecca
Situation
Ferguson,
Room or something.
yeah, the Situation Room. Like he's and one of the guys goes outside and he looks at him and says, "Get out of here." Right? And then a little bit later in the film, somebody runs by somebody else and goes, it was one of the political people, looks at the person, says something, but doesn't say anything about what's going on, and then just keeps going.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that was such a powerful move by Bigelow, because you see the difference in humanity. You see the difference in class. You see the difference in power, and that structure of people thinking about nobody but themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that to me was like such a, I think so many people are going to miss those little details in the film because I think they're looking at the overall big picture. But to me, when I was watching it, I was like, man, just unpacking the rawness of all of that really just was so surreal. And thinking about, because I always say, I'm like, if 9/11, like a situation like 9/11 happened today, we would be screwed, because people are less about being united than they are worried about, themselves or people alike them. You know what I mean? So to me, it was such an interesting perspective. But yeah, it's one of my favorite directed movies of the year, and it's crazy because it's like such a confined space, and there's a level of claustrophobia to it that as I get older, it's worse and worse. You know what I mean? But like, there are several times I felt like I was like, shit, you got to breathe, bro. This is not you, man. This is not you, bro. You're not in the middle of it. You know what I mean? You got to breathe. But man, I've seen a lot of people say a lot of different things about this movie, but for me, it's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's just, it's a realistic horror. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what that genre is called really, but it's insane. I
Especially love it. There's one of the points of view, it goes down to you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And the decision is either catastrophe or potential bigger catastrophe because we look weak. And you really get put into like, what would you do? And I honestly don't know. I don't. And I think, as much as I've always been someone to be highly critical of the highest seat in the land, there is certain situations that I understand as a person, but seeing this perspective puts it in a stronger perspective that I don't know what I would do in so many situations, because no one can know. You have all these people telling you, hey, we should do this, but at the end of the day, it's one person's call. And I mean,
I thought this dude was gonna be like, let's play paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah, like, dude, it's nuts. Like, you just sitting there thinking with them, you're like, I don't know, man, because one is terrible and the other one is just as terrible. I don't know. You don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but in a situation like this, somebody's going to get hurt. And the way that she left it the way she did at the end, I thought was brilliant, because the same kind of situation that takes place in Civil War, right? I think that it's very smart for one to go, we're going to have some of this up for interpretation, because pointing fingers is bad and something like this, because art does move culture and can influence certain situations, because it could infer a national outlook or thought about a certain place. So not necessarily doing this pointing fingers is very smart, but Yeah, dude. I didn't know what to expect because I only saw like a I think I saw like half a trailer. But the title intrigued me, and then afterwards I was like, I'm glad that I saw this in theaters because we had the opportunity to either get it sent to us as a screener or go see it in theaters. Because sometimes, especially the award season, you don't have time to go to every single screening. So we have the opportunity to get screeners, and I'm glad I went to see this one in the theaters because I was blown away.
Yeah, this is one that I wish was released to a mass audience. I also feel like this is a movie that is going to be very politically driven, and it doesn't have to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
one side or another. I don't feel like it should be. I feel like it should just be a movie that's seen, period. But yeah. All right, let's see here. Your thoughts. What else? Give me something else that you've watched this week or in the last 2 weeks since we've podcasted.
So I don't think we got to talk about this. After the hunt, so I think like it was like 2 weeks ago. Um, Look, man. So we have a story where we're in Yale, two professors, one brilliant student, um, and one professor is Andrew Garfield, the other Julie Roberts. Iowa Debris is the student. This is where, especially in the philosophy department, this is where you see the students and the professors. They mingle. They have little house parties. It's commonplace in academia and in the higher level. Situation happens where maybe the professor, Andrew Garfield's character, overstepped his boundaries, and it becomes the talk of campus. Did he or did he not sexually assault a student? Now, speaking of Civil War, this film it offers this kind of Me Too scenario. It offers the he said, she said. The only difference is I feel like in this kind of scenario, you have to pick a side. And I understand that they were trying to put Julia as the person in the middle going, okay, this is my friend and the professor and this student that I appreciate their intelligence and know that they kind of revere me. Who do I believe? And we get nothing. We get nothing. We get no nuance. We just get exactly what colleges do. Oh man, this crazy thing happened. Hopefully it doesn't get in the news. Let's kind of sweep it under the rug off to the side. And the worst part of the movie is the ending because essentially nothing fucking happened to anybody. So and I get that like these situations play out this way sometimes, especially in those kind of spaces where people got a lot of money, a lot of influence. But it offered nothing of nuance to the conversation of cancel culture or uh, the Me Too type of situation or anything. It didn't offer anything to anything. And everybody looked like an asshole. Um, he didn't really empathize with anybody besides Julia's husband, and because he's just like this doting, intelligent guy who wants to love his wife, and she's got skeletons in the closet, and then has no kind of soul when it comes to how he's affected by anything. It's a very cold movie with a great fucking cast. That's what sucked. It was like such a cold movie, and I was like, I love this fucking cast, but I don't know, man. It's just disappointing that it was too long, offered nothing, and because I feel like this is a movie that set itself up to show young adults, hey, this is how you navigate this kind of situation. Um, but it just didn't do anything, man. It didn't. I was so mad. This is one of the most like highly touted directors like of right now, and I never expected myself to have to rip into a movie the way I did, because as Ricky knows, I tend to try to compliment sandwich these things. Like I try not to focus too much on the negative, but this one just had it pissed me off, honestly, because it's a very serious situation, and almost every single and it's I think it's mentioned in the movie a little bit. It's been mentioned by somebody we won't name, but people don't believe that women are assaulted at the number they're assaulted at, and almost every single woman I know has been sexually assaulted in some way. So for the movie to be dismissive, it really kind of pissed me off. So yeah, I don't. I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, and I didn't feel good writing the review because I don't like to tear into shit the way I did. But yeah, man, it was not great. It was not great.
Welcome to the dark side, Dom. Welcome to the dark side, man. I haven't seen it yet. I plan on watching it, obviously, because it is that time of the year. It's supposed to be the conversation. It's funny because I've seen a wide range of reactions to this. I think it's either you like it or you hate it, and very excited about that. I love that type of movie. For me, I saw on vacation last week. I went and saw Roofman, Channing Tatum. A lot to say about this movie without saying a lot about this movie. It's first off, didn't know about the story at all going into the movie. I didn't, being a true story is absolutely bonkers. This is a type of film that I wish would get more of an audience because it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. And I think there's a lot of complexity to it. I think there's a lot to say inside the film. I think Channing Tatum is fantastic. Probably the best performance of his career. I was like weighing the options of like Channing Tatum movies of like actual true dramatic performances almost, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like hard to unpack that almost, I think. But yeah, to me, it's easy as his best work. I really don't, it's hard. It's hard to talk about the film. You want to just go in and see it. I just wish that we were in a day and age where like low budget, low tiered movies like this were seen by more people. You know what I mean? It's like the same with The Smashing Machine, which The Rock gives a fucking brilliant performance in, and it's just like going to the wayside because I don't even know why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we'd rather go see The Conjuring, 75 instead of these actual genuine movies that are actually good. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating. Like even though the one battle after another box office has been frustrating to watch. You know what I mean? Like how in the world would anybody want to go see Tron when you can go see One Battle, you can go see Roofman, you can go see The Smashing Machine? Like that to me is where, and then like the Taylor Swift effect too. Like why, releasing her little thing for a weekend, really just fucked everything up too. You know what I mean? Box office wise, and stealing theaters from like One Battle because of what? A listening party? You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even a fucking movie. You know what I mean? But it's disappointing to see movies like Roofman, like One Battle After Another, The Smashing Machine, to really struggle at the box office when they're actually genuinely good movies. But yeah, I enjoyed Roofman. If you get a chance to see it in theaters, cool. If not, it'll be just like him and be on VOD in like 3 weeks. So, which is disappointing. On the flip side, I'll pick back up on a movie that I did watch. Probably it's the best documentary I've seen so far this year. Do not watch this documentary unless you want to get pissed off. It's The Perfect Neighbor. Gidi Gambar directed it. It's the police body cam footage reveals how a long-running neighborhood dispute turned into a fatal in this documentary about fear, prejudice, and stand your own ground laws. It's the situation that happened in Florida. I actually didn't know a whole lot about it because you almost get desensitized of stuff like this in the news because so much of it happens. So I'm not one that actively seeks out the news for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? But this one is, like I said, don't watch this unless you want to be pissed off. Like you will literally be mad the entire movie. It's one of the best, well-made, well-shot documentaries we've seen this year. It's not. There's not much you can say about it without just saying, just watch the damn thing because, Never in my life would I expect it. It's just you're watching it, you get madder, 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 matter, 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 matter. You know what I mean? It's infuriating to kind of watch, and it's crazy because how it plays out. It plays out in a way that's very theatrical, and even as you begin to realize what happened as somebody that didn't know exactly what transpired, you know what's coming, and it still does not stop you from being just aggressively mad. So I believe it releases the 17th on Netflix, which I think is Friday. Like I said, watch it, but just be careful, cautious of the headspace that you're in when you watch it, because you will be very, very mad after watching it. What else you got for me, Dom?
Well, one I can't talk about, but I'll just mention that Frankenstein, Netflix's Frankenstein, saw that. I can't really talk about it right now, but we'll get into that later on down the road. Um, let's talk about The Lost Bus, okay? So you have Matthew McConaughey, America Ferrera, two great actors. You're like, oh, dealing with a real life events that took place in 2018. One of the forest fires, a wildfire, should I say, in California, and the movie, for something so heightened, something so yearly relevant, it is like the most lackluster thing. It's probably one of the worst ones I've seen this year. That could have been, had the potential to be fantastic, and I don't know exactly what it was at first. So you have a backstory with McConaughey's character that just feels forced. It feels like they just tossed it in there, and I know you need that backstory for that character to give them purpose, but it seemed that the backstory was purposeless for what he was doing, because it almost didn't need to be there for how it unfolds towards the end. You get America's backstory in the middle, and by the time we get to hers, I had low-key checked out. I didn't care anymore. You're like sitting in the middle of the forest burning, not doing anything, and I don't know, dude. Like I feel like they try for this like heightened sympathy because there's all these kids on the bus, but even the kids seemed a little too calm for what was going on around them. Now I get it. Sometimes in these situations, kids can mature quickly and know that there's certain things they have to do, but for movie purposes, this needs to be the most terrifying thing that has ever happened, because it is. You're fucking surrounded by fucking hellfire and you can't go nowhere. For it to just, dude, that shit pissed me out when the whole thing was like, oh man, we should just drive through this. You should have done that fucking an hour ago, bro. And if there's nothing else, if you watch this with your girlfriend, your wife, this is the movie they're gonna look at you and go, listen to women, okay? Because this whole shit could have been avoided if he could have just listened to what the woman was telling him to do, and none of this would have happened. Dude, is just disappointing, man. Like, and I remember talking with somebody before watching it, and it was like, oh man, it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. And it's like, yeah, that's a crazy situation. You got this school bus full of kids, and what are you gonna do? And snooze, man. It wasn't great. I'm sorry. You're on mute.
Probably wish I would have watched the movie on mute. It would be more entertaining. Yeah, that shit was so bad, man. It was a struggle to watch. It was just boring. It was just, and again, like, it's crazy because it could have been this claustrophobic feeling of being trapped in a fire. And I was just like, man, just get me to the end. You know what I mean? It's so bad. Yeah, I don't even really. You said everything perfectly, man. I don't know what's going on. This is not Freaky Friday, guys. This is not. We're not swapped here. You know what I mean? Dom's going in over here. You know what I mean? Like it's. I'm just saying, like, it's not Freaky Friday over here. But yeah, it's definitely been. It was definitely hard to watch. I just there's certain things that just I'm so that was just bad. I mean, and I don't, you know what I mean? It was bad, and I don't even know how it's not bad. Let's see what else we got here. What else do we have, Dom? What else have you watched? I'm trying to go through my list.
I've been trying to catch up on some TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally finished Wednesday season 2. Wednesday's cool. I think that's the big thing for me with the show. It's cool. It's not like the best thing since sliced bread. Nothing about it is terrible. It's just cool. It's a cool little show to throw on and get the little Scooby Doo vibes of it. With Scooby Doo meets real horror vibes. And then Peacemaker season 2 finally finished that. Peacemaker, I think, is an awesome show. I love John Cena, and you know, I think what's special about John Cena in that role, especially when he gets to be a happy person, John Cena is such a good person, at least that we all know from everything we've seen. Uh, it's just cool to like see his character happy. You're like, you know what? Fuck with that, man. I'm glad he's doing some cool shit. And then, you know what started this week? Me and the wife, we watched 911. Enjoy it. I don't follow it religiously, but I enjoy the show. I never watched Lone Star. I heard it was terrible. And then we heard 911 Nashville was gonna come out. We're like, cool. We live in Nashville. We're gonna see the places we go, and maybe people that we know might be extras and shit. Landmarks, dude. This is the worst show I've ever seen in my life. Okay, every Southern cliche, every huge known Nashville landmark, every terrible accent, all in one fucking episode. I mean, the first episode features Bridgestone. It features horseback riding. It features Broadway and pedal taverns, male strip clubs. You know, stupid ass people don't wear cowboy boots. Like, oh, look, in Nashville, when you live here, when you've been here the majority of your life, or from here, we don't wear cowboy boots and cowboy hats. That's not a fucking thing. That is a costume, right? You see the country stars, it's a costume. Anybody you see wearing those around here, probably not from here, okay? The accents are not that fucking thick. We have certain words that come out and it sounds a little thick, right? But none of us sound like, oh god damn, the fire down there is getting rid of. No, none of us talk like that, okay? And you have this tornado pop out of nowhere in broad daylight with no fucking warning, while simultaneously showing Danielle Breezy on the news. Okay, if you're in Nashville, you know Danielle Breezy be on her shit when it comes to these storms, okay? She gonna tell you a day in advance before some shit pop off, and then these motherfuckers are at a concert where the tornado just comes out of nowhere. Fuck out of here, first off. Like, and we don't have very many tornadoes that pop up downtown. There's been one in like the last 10 years. What the fuck are we doing right now? Okay. I don't know who wrote this show. I don't know who they talked to from Tennessee. Clearly it was fucking tourists, because the shit pissed me off. My wife was looking forward to the show. It pissed her off. So this is a show that I'm going to fucking hate watch and laugh at. And then I'm going to fucking email Ryan Murphy and be like, look, dude, if you want to keep doing this show, I'm going to need you to consult some actual Nashville residents. And everything doesn't take place downtown, okay? Like, when people from that live here think about Nashville, we don't think about Broadway. Like, we think about the surrounding areas. Dude, it's... I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know if they made it too fast. I don't know if, like, dude, And then there's the oh yeah, and the Parthenon. They show the Parthenon and this stupid ass kite scenario that looked terrible, dude. It is laughably bad. Yeah, and then what's his name? Was it Chris O'Donnell? That played fucking Robin back in the day. His accent is so bad. I want to fucking punch him in his throat. I don't like. Why are they doing this to us? We don't. I could have made this show, and I feel like it would have felt more realistic with fucking no budget. Like, what are we doing?
Again, guys, I just want everybody to know that this is not like, swap or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to throw that out here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we body swap this week on the podcast. Normally I'm the guy out here hate watching everything, hate everything that I watch. But I mean, outside of House of Dynamite, did this guy enjoy anything at all? I don't think so. Anybody listening, he did not enjoy anything. But,
oh, dude, I don't know what's going on, man.
I feel bad for Black Phone 2. I feel bad for Bugani or whatever you want to say, which is on the slate for this week. Screeners this week for both of those, so we'll definitely be talking about those soon. What else is? Let me go over what's on the horizon here in the next coming weeks for us on the podcast side. Let's see here. When does Black Phone? The Black Phone comes out Thursday, which I don't even really know. Black Phone 1 sucked, so I know not everybody agrees with that. Oh, you hated Black Phone 2?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. I forgot we're on the same page. Also, Good Fortune comes out. I really want to see that. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. We got Springsteen coming out eventually. The Springsteen movie, which apparently is good or might not be good. I don't really know anymore. It's so hard to gauge because like when Marty Meatballs or whatever it's called coming out, you know what I mean? Like everybody's talking about that movie. Like it's a great, like they're making up words that, and I want to apologize on behalf of all film critics whenever I say that it's just as infuriating for us whenever we see the first reviewed parts of it, and there's people out here making up words that don't exist. You know what I mean? But yeah, Black Phone 2, Good Fortune. Let's see here. I don't even know what Pets on a Train is. Truth and Treason. I know Dom's very excited to see that. Let's see here. Chainsaw Man's coming out the 24th. Dream Eater. Don't even know what that is. Regretting You. Blue Moon. Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere 24th. Bugani is on 31st. What is there's like no horror movie coming out on the 31st? Like Halloween? Like what? I'm very confused by this.
Yeah.
Back to Future re-release. And then November 7th, there's
there is a indie no, wait, I don't even know if it's indie. It might just be. Is it Shudder? There's somebody doing a double feature. I think the week of Halloween. It's with AMC, and it's a horror thing. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure if you're an AMC Stubbs member, you've probably seen it pop up.
Yeah,
I saw an ad of theirs, and then I think they're, both theaters I think are doing this 31 days of Halloween thing where every day is a different horror movie.
Yeah, that's been kind of cool.
And there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of movies out right now. Like I was looking at the Regal app, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, I know, and it's pretty crazy. Like, yeah, I was looking at the Regal, like even our Regal here, or just like there's Kiss of a Spider Woman. Didn't even know that came out. The Tron came out. Anemone, whatever you want to call it, is out. Bone Lake, which I kind of want to watch that. I feel like we need to watch that.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things about it.
Strangers Chapter 2. I might actually get to him this week. Finally watch that. But yeah, there's definitely definitely a lot going on. So, all right, that is it for this week's episode of the Popcorn People podcast. We'll be back next Sunday, breaking down something else that Dom hates. I don't even know. It could be that way. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode. We'll be back next week.
Peace.